Hey guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books. It is March 1st, 2022, a Tuesday. So happy March. We're here in the third month of 2022, if that means something to you. And for me, it means I need to go and pay for both of my spaces, my bookstore and this warehouse space. So anyway, aside from that, this video is going to be a little journey because I've been talking about it in a couple previous videos, but today I'm going to go visit somebody that I used to buy CDs from. I looked at how long ago it was. It was actually all the way back at the end of 2016 is when I started buying CDs from him. He was an Amazon bulk reseller, and now he's doing something else and has a store. So I'm going to go visit his store, and ideally will be getting the contents of a Gaylord and transferring it to boxes so that I can bring those to the store and use those. And also, he said I could just take what I needed. So we'll see how it works out. But I'm going to take you along this journey a little bit and share some footage of me going through that process. And then finally, when I come back or fill up my truck with whatever good stuff I find. And hopefully this works out, because this would be better for me instead of ordering Gaylords and having those giant boxes and having so much to go through. If I can just go through the contents of a Gaylord and only get what I want. So this would be stuff largely for sale in my local sale, but of course also if there's things that would make sense to sell online, but mostly it would be for my local sale. But basically what it would allow me to do is not have to deal with all the excess stuff, which I talk a lot about. For instance, DVDs and CDs mostly, and how I have to deal with selling off all the extra stuff as a way to recoup or just, add or recoup what I spent on the Gaylords, as well as just make more money basically. But that takes a lot of time. So I would rather not spend the time on that and just get the good stuff, if he's okay with it, which he said he was, and spend way less time dealing with all that stuff, even though it would make me a little extra money, and focus on the stuff that I can use here in my local sale and a little bit online. And because of the experience I have, I'll be able to pick out the good stuff and leave the not so good stuff, if that makes sense. So that is the grand plan. We will see if that works out. We will see. And I will share with you in this video as I go along. And yeah, and hopefully it works out, because it would be great not to have not only the big Gaylords, it's not just having the big Gaylords and having to move them around for my sale and not having that much space for them. That's a big part of it, but it's also, like I said, just having to go through everything and trying to recoup all the money. It's hard when you have so much in your possession to just say, I'm not going to spend the time, just going to throw it away. When it's in your possession, it's hard not to just be like, well, I'll spend the time to make that extra money. But if I don't have to deal with it, then I don't have to spend the time. I don't have to worry about, there is no extra stuff to deal with to make money on. So anyway, that's the thought process. We'll see how it goes. So I'll see you in the next clip, wherever that may be. One, two, 3 boxes, plus all of these Blu-rays, a couple of books. This is what I picked up, guys. These boxes are crammed. The majority of the stuff that I got were TV box sets. They had actually sorted everything out, and a lot of the TV box sets were together. So I was able to go through all of them and pick the ones that I wanted. And then I basically just went through each one to make sure they had all of the discs. I ended up leaving about a dozen or more because they were missing a disc, or I didn't check all of the disc surfaces, but a couple of them that I just randomly checked were in terrible shape. So yeah, and also one of these boxes, this one, has a bunch of video games. Well, you can believe me, but yeah, it has, I think, over 30 video games I picked up, maybe closer to 40. In total, I got 183 items. Again, the majority were TV box sets, and then video games, and then some Blu-rays. I got about 15 or so Blu-rays, a couple of books. I did not have time to go through CDs. Basically, I didn't have the time. But there were boxes and boxes and boxes of CDs. This is all media that came from Gaylords, from pallets. They were actually mixed in with other non-media items. And they had already been sorted out because the rest of it was going somewhere else. And so they'd put all the CDs, all the DVDs, video games to the side, and there were just tons of them, which I briefly showed you in the clip from this video, in one of the clips from this video. So it was overall great. It was nice to see them. I hadn't seen them since 2017, which is crazy. So it was 4 years. Let's see. No, it's been, a little over 4 years, close to 4.5 years since I've seen him. Again, he was doing bulk book business through FBA. And then when the fees all happened, he got out of that and was looking for a store to open, a location. Anyway, ended up doing it and recently opened, and now he's got tons of extra stuff and looks like it's going to be a good opportunity for both of us. I can get rid of some stuff for him. He can make a little extra money off that, and I will potentially be able to have a consistent source for this type of stuff, as well as I can go through the DVDs and pick out the ones that that make sense for my local sale or to sell online. So basically, this is a cherry picking opportunity for me. So I'm paying per item, not for the entire lot, not per box or anything like that, because I am leaving the overwhelming majority of it, of what I'm going through. Although I did take most of the TV box sets that he had. And I took almost all the Blu-rays. Although the video games, there were a ton of duplicates and some that I already had, or sports games that I didn't want, that kind of thing. So decided to pass on those. I probably ended up, of all the video games that were sorted out, I probably took maybe like a third-ish, maybe a fourth. Yeah, a fourth to a third of it. And yeah, so I didn't have time. I actually have to go here in a couple of minutes to pick up my kids from school, which now is nearby. But I didn't have time to go through the CDs. There just wasn't enough time. So I'm going to go back next week and focus on two things. Focused on going through, there was dozens of banker boxes of DVDs. Just glancing at some of them, I hardly saw any titles that I would be interested in, but I will thoroughly go through them. And the CDs, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my scanner, and I'm going to go through boxes of CDs and just pull the ones that I feel are worth scanning and ones that I might be interested in getting for local sale here, etc. Excuse me. And see how that goes. So it went great with the TV box sets, the video games, the Blu-rays, but those were already pulled out. But anyway, we'll see. The CDs are always tough because there's always a lot of crap in there. DVDs too, in terms of there's just a lot of popular titles that I don't need in my store, and which is why I end up having to sell off so many, do so many eBay auctions of DVDs. Hold on. So I want to avoid that, which is what I talked about in the beginning of this video, which looks like that's what I'm going to be able to do. So we'll see how the CDs are. Again, I still need a constant flow of CDs I can put in my local sale because I have a lot of people coming and buying CDs. So we'll see if it works out with this source when I start going through all the CDs next week. So I spent about 2.5 hours there. So this next time I'll plan about that amount of time, and I should be able to get through a lot of CDs, a lot of DVDs. But again, my focus will be on the CDs. The DVDs will be a lot easier to go through because I can just look at the titles and the covers real quick. It's just a matter of time to go through them. But I'll probably focus on the CDs more. And going forward. So it was great. He has a big store. It's not here where I am. It's a little ways away, so it's a bit of a drive, but it's definitely worth it. And we'll see how it goes going forward, and I'll let you guys know. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit of a different one. I talk a lot about different my experiences with reselling books and media in my local store, as well as online on eBay and Amazon, and kind of things like this, news sources. So if you like that kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Take care.